Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you decided to join me today for this long-awaited video on how to set up a Poshmark, how to sell on Poshmark, basically 5 things I feel like you should know before you start selling on Poshmark. Gonna get straight into the video today because I've waited long enough to film it. I have been battling a bit of a head cold, so that's put off this video. Pardon me if I sound a little bit nasally, but with 20 seconds into the video, let's just get straight to it. These are 5 things that I believe you need to know before you start selling on Poshmark. So before you start selling on Poshmark, be it your own items out of your own closet, reselling items that you've sourced, or maybe even if you start like me branching into Poshmark as a second platform, because I sold on eBay first. You need to know these things. So when I set up my eBay, I think it's still the same way. I had to have a PayPal account already set up before I could actually set up my eBay account. Poshmark isn't like that. They don't make you link a payment or a payout option, any type of financials to Poshmark prior to selling on the app. Now obviously if you're going to buy items, if you're going to make offers, you have to have something linked because immediate payment is required if an offer is accepted on Poshmark. But pardon me, you don't have to have a PayPal linked. You can't even pay for items on Poshmark with your PayPal unless you're on a computer, which I think is a little weird. But I think the reason that Poshmark doesn't require you to have any account information on file when you are selling items is because they want you to spend the money within the app instead of getting a payout. Like, let's just suppose I sold this shirt and I got $20. They want me to, instead of asking them for that $20, spend it within the app. Super smart on Poshmark's part. That's just my speculation about why it's like that. That's not written down anywhere. That's just what I think. But definitely as a reseller, I obviously want the money back. So be prepared to have your bank account number and routing number available. Poshmark just give 2 options. One of them is to ask for a direct deposit to your bank, or you can get a paper check. Now the bank direct deposit usually only takes 2 to 3 days, which I know is super slow because we could get to the moon in that time. But the first time that you do it, it could take 5 to 7 days. Know that, be aware of that, because the first time I cashed out, I wanted to use the money to buy a present for someone for an upcoming event, and it was not there in time. So I had to use other funds. So just be aware that the very first time it can take longer, up to a week to cash out. So how to set it up, you basically don't have to have your financial information. Go ahead and have it available so that it's already plugged in there. You already have your bank account information set up. And then outside of that, you just have to have your email. Now, obviously you're going to want it to download the Poshmark app. It's the easiest way to buy and sell on there. You can use the desktop app on a desktop computer or even on your phone's mobile device. I don't know if you can upload photos from Google Chrome or Safari on your phone. I use the app to do all that. So you're going to want to create the app or download the app, create an app, download the app. You're going to want to have your email address and have your bank account information. So that's 3 things on setting up your Poshmark. You do have to think of a closet name also. Mine is Mrs. Strickland with a Z from the Mrs. So think of something clever if you want. I'm not sure if you can change those because I'm looking to change mine. So maybe in a future video, I'll give you a heads up and let you know. The second thing I want to cover are seller fees, because a lot of people, that's their biggest question is, what are the fees on Poshmark? It's 20%, which sounds like a lot, I know, but once I average everything out that I'm paying eBay, they're almost equal. Because on eBay, you're paying 10%, but then you're also paying PayPal 3%, and then you also have that weird little 30-cent charge from PayPal. And then, everything else on top of that, if you're doing shipping or whatnot, because they're taking charges off of they're taking seller fees off of your shipping on eBay also. So honestly guys, eBay still is a little cheaper on the selling fees, but the 20% isn't something that's just so detrimental. Just charge a little higher for the items. I think you'll notice if you look through the sold comps on Poshmark that the items go for more on Poshmark anyway. That being said, when you list an item on Poshmark, they automatically are always or best offer. There's an offer button on every single item. It doesn't matter if you write, I'm absolutely firm, do not write me an offer. Someone will send you an offer. It is likely to be half of what you have it listed for. It's okay. Don't take it personal, okay? Because if you're taking it personal, you do not need to be selling stuff online. Counter offer something you can accept and move on. So seller fees, that's 20%. The third thing I want to cover is shipping. So shipping is probably why I like Poshmark over eBay, because you don't have to have a shipping scale unless you think an item is over 5 pounds, which 5 pounds is, I promise you, heavier than what you think it is. You could probably mail most boots and still be under the 5 pound limit. So on Poshmark, it was $6.50 if I'm correct, and now it's $6.79. So there was a tiny little, 29-cent increase there. $6.79 always. If I sell this bracelet on Poshmark, the buyer is going to pay $6.79 shipping. If I sell the boots I'm wearing on Poshmark, $6.79 shipping. Poshmark pays for the label. Well, the buyer obviously pays for it. Poshmark emails it to me that it's populated with all of the information. You can download it from the desktop app, the shipping label, or you can download it from your email. You cut that out, you put it on absolutely any box you want to. You can use priority boxes free from the post office. You can use priority flat rate boxes. You can use regional rate boxes. Everything except for the blue ones that are like the expedited overnight, you can't use those. So your shipping supplies is pretty well free. And I don't know about you, but if I order something, like my husband bought me a Gucci item, and when it arrived at the house, it was in a box with tissue paper and bows and this pretty little gift bag, and it was such an experience to open it. And that's what I want to convey to my buyers when they buy items from me. I want them to open a box instead of like a little poly mailer, which is what they're getting if they order on eBay, because I'm trying to do it as cheap as possible. But on Poshmark, I can put it in anything. So I put my items in a box. When they open it, there's tissue paper, there's a sticker, there's a thank you card, sometimes there's ribbons depending on what they've bought. And I want them to have this experience when they open something, because a t-shirt is a t-shirt, but how did you make them feel, right? So that's another thing when you're shipping on Poshmark. While I'm on point 3 about shipping, a bit more is expected of you on shipping on Poshmark. I mean, you can even look in the Poshmark frequently asked questions, and they will tell you that they expect tissue paper and bows and a thank you card and stickers, and some people even give free gifts. I don't give free gifts. If someone bought some outrageous bundle from me, maybe, but I'm definitely not sending out free gifts at my store. Okay, so that's pretty much it on shipping. You're not going to pay for shipping. The buyer's always going to pay for shipping. It is the labels sent to you, and expect to wrap things up very nicely. My fourth point is listing. Okay, I have been asked to also elaborate on what sells on Poshmark, and I feel like for the most part, what sells is very trendy, obviously, designer clothes sell, but you don't have to have some crazy designer label. Brands that sell well, Free People. There's a whole huge following of Free People items on Poshmark. White House Black Market, J. Crew, Lucky Brand. I just sourced a ton of Lucky Brand. Freebird. If you haven't heard of any of these brands, start following people that sell on Poshmark. One of the girls that I enjoy following the most is Empty Hanger. Now you can find her on YouTube. Just search Empty Hanger, and she's a Poshmark seller. You can look at her on Poshmark, and she will show you haul videos, kind of like what I do, or the same thing as what I do, where she's going to tell you everything that she's buying. Start following people and seeing what they're buying. Festival wear sells really well on Poshmark. That is like band tees and cut off shorts. I sell vintage Levi's, and I can't stock them fast enough in my eBay or my Poshmark. So items that sell, really start watching people. You can watch me on YouTube, or you can watch my Instagram, and I show a lot of the stuff that I source. Right after this, I'm filming a video of stuff that I just sourced for Poshmark and eBay. So subscribe and hit the bell notification icon, and you'll be notified every time that I post a new video that has anything to do with sourcing hauls. But that's my best advice, to know what sells, because what sells, March of 2019 is not going to be the same thing that sells March of 2010. You have to stay current. You have to stay on top of this. I'd never heard of half of these brands before I started selling and watching other resellers. So learn from the people around you. The other point I want to make on listing while I'm on topic 4 of listing is your photos. You really do want to put out a bit of extra time on your photos, because on eBay, for instance, and I have to keep comparing to eBay because that's the other platform I sell on, eBay and Amazon is the same way. They want your photos up against a plain white background. This wall is gray, but it kind of looks white in this, and it looks white whenever I photograph against it. But on Poshmark, people do flat lays, and that's when you lay out a shirt or a pair of pants or whatever item you're selling on the ground, and You might add like a decorative leaf or a plant or a hat. You might style a shirt with a pair of shorts and a pair of shoes beside it. The kind of like Pinterest worthy photos, okay? And then that makes people click. But so you're going to be in a sea of people that have photos like that. If you take your photo on your bedroom door in dingy lighting, nobody's going to click on your photo, okay? So when you're listing, concentrate on what sells well and concentrate on high quality photos. I do use my phone for 100% of my photos. If you want to see the way I photograph, find me on Poshmark, Mrs. Strickland, MRZSTRICKLAND. So find me on there. I'll post a link below if I can. And, you know, check out how I photograph things. I'm no expert, but my items are selling pretty well. The fifth point I want to make is the social aspect of Poshmark. So on Poshmark, you don't just list an item and forget it. And I know you don't do that on eBay either, but you don't have to put in the work on eBay that you do on Poshmark. So on any given day, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I read my Bible, and after I've read my Bible and had some time with God and had my coffee, the very first thing I do is open Poshmark and I share my closet. And by sharing, so every single item has the ability to share that item, and you can share that item to all of your followers. Followers, again, the social aspect here, right? So I have some like 8,700 followers right now. I'm following 13,000 people. And when I list a shirt and then I share that shirt, it goes out to those 87,000 people. And then if one of them decides to share it, they share it to their 87,000 people or 8,700 or 5,000 people or whoever is following them. They're sharing my things, and eventually the goal is to get in front of the eyes of someone that's going to actually buy your item. So I share my closet in the morning, I share my closet at night, and I try to share my closet in the middle of the day as well. There's girls with like 1,000, 4,000 item closets, and they're sharing their closets every day. So honey, I promise you can share your closet, especially starting out. The fastest way to share a closet is not on the app, because there's a delay on the app. So either if you're on iPhone, go to Safari. If you're on Android, go to Chrome and open up Poshmark.com. Log in, pull up your closet, and share your items from there. Or if you have a desktop computer, I think it's even faster to share with a mouse, because you get 4 items across the screen. I don't have a tablet, but girls share with like an iPad or any type of a tablet, and that's really fast too, because that's just touchscreen. You're just touching. So the social aspect of following and sharing is really, really big on Poshmark. It's the only way you're going to be successful on there. If you list a gorgeous little Michael Kors backpack and you just leave it on there and someone searches Michael Kors backpack, when they search, the very first items at the top are those just shared. Not most relevant, just shared. Whatever was just shared. That's the whole point in sharing, as often as you can. If you want to take your phone into the bathroom with you, share some items. If you have your phone and you're the passenger in a car, share some items. If you are waiting in line at the post office to mail off your Posh Post, share some items. Share, share, share. Sharing is caring and is selling. So those are my 5 things that I want you guys to know about Poshmark. Please let me know if you have any questions below. If you want me to make a video elaborating on some of these details, I would love to. I'm going to go pull out a bag of stuff that I just bought from a consignment store, which I don't usually source at, get those items steamed, and I am going to do a great haul video for you guys. So if you want to know what's selling on Poshmark for me right now, watch that haul video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification, comment, and let me know what you want to see next. God bless you guys.